Hey everybody, it's Shane at Big Oak. It's April 3rd, 2020, and I am going on a little wander up this side canyon of Big Oak. It's the same canyon that we did a big erosion control project on a few years ago, and I also found a badger skull in this canyon last year, and it's just so lush and beautiful right now. I want to show you around. And right now there's a mountain quail that's up on the hill singing, calling out. I can't quite see him from here, but he's right up on the hill there. My initial purpose of the wander was actually to find this quail calling up in the canyon here. He does it every day, and I found him. And of course, when I get him on video, he stops singing. But his little covey is still making noises. For those of you in wetter climates, you might not see anything special here, but for this area, Southern California, it's a pretty special spot because of all this green, wet lushness. They say if you don't know the plants, all you see is a green blur. But what I see here is a green tapestry, and I smell the overwhelming smell of rich soil and spring flowers. There's a bunch of ferns along the slope over here, polypody ferns, and there's a big patch of meadow rue right there. So beautiful. Here's some miner's lettuce. I show how to harvest and eat this in another video. And there's all sorts of other little plants here, like bolzia. This whole slope up here is covered in miner's lettuce, just a big salad bowl. Here's some maidenhair fern. It's got these dark reddish or black stems. A relative of it's called five-finger fern is used by Northern California peoples for black basketry designs. I just encountered these old dead stems of the maidenhair fern. I wonder if they're flexible enough for basketry. Let's give it a try. See how well it bends. Not bad. I might try it out. And here's some coffee fern up in here. I guess the leaves are shaped kind of like coffee beans or something. And the polypody fern over here, which stays green just in the winter and then dries out in the summer, and it forms these dense mats on the slope. It's kind of a natural erosion control plant. Here's a look at some of its rhizomes, which allow it to form the dense mats. I'm going to try breaking some pieces off and see if I can plant them on a steep slope. And then there's some lady fern in here. Here's the meadow rue close up, flowering. And there's the mosses all along these branches, which is super cool. They're putting out all these little sporophytes, these little things with capsules full of spores on top. There's some mushrooms popping up here. I don't know what kind these are. Some little cup fungus up here growing on a branch. This one's called Fiesta flower. This one's not flowering yet, but the leaves are super sticky. As in, they're like Velcro. Going up a little further here, it's lush with miner's lettuce. And zooming in on this log here, so many little lichens. They're forming their little cups with spores. Here's some goldback fern. You can make golden prints with it on your clothing, but it's pretty faint right now at this time of year. Later in the summer, it'll be better. There's this crazy looking rock right here. There's a gooseberry bush right here. Tall stems reaching for the sun. There's some little berries, still green, not quite ripe. Here's a native nettle species called chaparral nettle or western nettle. There's a bunch of it growing all under this chaparral here. Oh, there's this baby blue eyes growing under here. And this little white flower, I don't recognize you. I'll have to figure out what you are. There's a really steep section on both sides here, covered in polypody fern. And there's these boulders covered in moss. It's almost like a cliff, like a little waterfall would form. There's a tiny bit of water down there. Another part right here with a little water at the base of some rocks. And a little bit more water right here. I'm really liking these lichens. And the orange crown warbler singing in the background, and the hermit thrush. And there's unfortunately some trash that even makes it up here. These balloons that people release. Yep. Mickey Mouse. And one thing you'll find in these areas with the lush vegetation, there's these little tunnels under the plants. Sometimes they've got these little scats along them. I think this is little vole trails. Some kind of little mouse. Here's a view from a little bit up on the slope, looking down into the little canyon. Looking up canyon, and down, across the creek. Some kind of witch's butter. Ooh, the ceanothus is blooming. And I'm back out of the canyon into the sunshine.